Hello everyone, I'm going to be showcasing how to install and run this Python script I wrote that rebuilds user Snapchat memories and chat media from the Snapchat metadata exports. And so over here, some of the key features is that it restores date, time, and GPS metadata to memories. It adds the overlays and captions onto the base image or video for memories. Converts memory time zones from UTC to local time zones. It's compatible with both Windows File Explorer and iCloud Photos. You can run it on either your Windows PC or your Mac. One thing that I wanted to mention actually is I actually coded this for Snapchat's previous version of the metadata exports, where all the memories came together in one separate zipped file. However, I guess just my luck, when I went to go and upload this on GitHub, I realized that Snapchat actually has since changed the way that their memories are downloaded utilizing the metadata exports. However, it's not a problem because my code works for both versions. For the new one, it just requires a little bit more of an initial folder setup. So I'm going to be showcasing how to run it on both the previous version of the exports and the new one as well. Another thing I wanted to actually mention was if this is your first time doing something like this, I recommend putting both the Python file as well as the README file into a generative AI tool such as ChatGPT or something like that, because depending on your system, the way that you might need to run this and install this might be different than me, and those tools can help you troubleshoot in case you're struggling to figure out something. So first off, let's go ahead and, actually, by the way, check out my full list of features that I added to this. You could check out the link to the GitHub in the video description. It's all listed here. So first things first, let's go ahead and download the data from Snapchat. You can do this on your phone or here on the web. Doing this on the phone app is pretty easy. All you have to do is go to Settings, then My Privacy and Data, then select My Data. Then from there you'll be prompted to select a few different things, so go ahead and press Memories, export your memories, and export JSON files, and export chat media. Then from there you'll have to select the time range, so go ahead and press All Time and then put in your email address. It might take a while to receive the email, so just wait. Now I'm going to showcase how to install and run on Mac. If you're using Windows, you can skip to that section. Let's go ahead and download the zipped file from GitHub. One thing I'm actually going to do too is delete the -main at the end of the folder name. This isn't necessary, but it's just to remain consistent with the directions in the README file, because this is the name that I used in the README file. All it does is it just changes the folder path name. Once we get the email from Team Snapchat, we're going to go ahead and click here. See exports, download, and we're going to open the downloaded folder, go to HTML, and then we're going to open this memories_history HTML. And now over here, we're going to download all memories. So go ahead, press that, and wait for it to load. So just a quick tip, this page can be a little bit buggy. So over here it says that all the downloads are complete, but you can see that it's still saying downloading here. So if you just go ahead and reload the page, then you can see that all of them aren't downloaded, and it will continue to go through it again. Once that's all downloaded, what we have to do is move over the contents from the chat media folder into the input chat media folder, move the memories history JSON folder over into the input folder, as well as extract all the memories from each one of these individual zipped files and move them into the input memories folder. Now you can go about doing this any way that you want. If you don't need help with this, you can move to the installation section, but I'm going to showcase how I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a temporary folder, and then I'm going to extract all the individual zipped folders, and I'm going to take the extracted folders and then I'm going to move them in this temporary folder. The reason why I'm doing this is because in order to not have to individually move all the contents within the memories. If you just put them all in one folder, you can just search by period in that one folder, and then all the files within each one of those individual folders will show up, and then you can just select them and all and copy paste them all from there. One thing I wanted to mention is that when you select the memories files and the chat media files, it probably makes sense to only move over the files that you want to process with the code, because the more files that you try to process, the longer it will take. Additionally, it probably makes sense also to just try running a few files first. This way, in case there's a problem, you'll know before you process all of them at once. This requires Python 3, ffmpeg, ffprobe, xftool, and some packages. If you don't need help installing them, you can skip to the next section. However, all the links are in the README file. Once you have xftool, ffmpeg, and ffprobe downloaded, you have to make sure that their executables are in the user local bin folder. They may already be there, however, just go ahead and double check. Now we have to go ahead and download these packages. Now what exactly you type into your terminal might be a little bit different than mine, so just keep that in mind. In order to run the code, now what we have to do is open the terminal, type in cd, and then enter the project folder path name. So paste that in, press enter, and then we have to enter the name of the code file. So Python 3 space Snapchat underscore metadata.py, and then enter. Now for moving all the images and videos into Apple Photos, on Mac it's easy. All you have to do is open the Chat Media output folder, copy over all the images and videos. So some of the video memories with captions may not be orientated correctly. If that's the case, you can go ahead, select them, and rotate them. When I ran this code on my Windows computer, that didn't happen. I think it has to do with the version of some of the dependencies I downloaded on this Mac. Something very important that I wanted to mention is that on Mac, when you move over your memories from the output folder into Apple Photos, make sure you use the memories location time folder and not the system time one. If you use the wrong one, then the timestamps may appear double adjusted. So over here, you could see that the timestamps and the map for the GPS location are both compatible here with Apple Photos. For installing and running on Windows, now when we receive the email, let's go ahead and click here, see exports, download, let's open the zip file, extract it, let's access the HTML folder and then the memories_history.html, and then over here we have Snapchat's downloader, so let's go ahead and download all memories. Now something I'll mention is that this is a little bit buggy. Sometimes it may not download everything altogether, even though the percentage may say 100. You have to check on the right the downloading, make sure it's all green for all the different files. Also, if it's reaching 100% but everything's not downloading, you can always try reloading the page and redoing it again. That should fix it. Forgot to download the repo, so that's fine. Let's just go ahead and do it now. Let's go ahead and unzip the downloaded file, extract all. Let's just put it in the downloads folder to keep everything in the same place. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the dash main at the end of the title just to keep it consistent with the directions in the README file. This isn't necessary. All it does is just change the file path name for the folder. Once that's all downloaded, what we have to do is move over the contents from the chat media folder into the input chat media folder, move the memories history JSON folder over into the input folder, as well as extract all the memories from each one of these individual zipped files and move them into the input memories folder. Now you can go about doing this any way that you want. If you don't need help with this, you can move to the installation section, but I'm going to showcase how I did it. In order to extract all the folders together in Windows, I'm going to download 7-zip and utilize this tool. Go ahead and open the application. It's this one. Okay, now we need the path name to the downloads folder. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a temporary folder, and then I'm going to extract all the individual zipped folders, and I'm going to take the extracted folders and then I'm going to move them in this temporary folder. Okay, now let's go ahead and sort by file type. Let's select all the zipped files that pertain to us here. So not those, but all the images. Let's extract them to the memories temp. The reason why I'm doing this is because in order to not have to individually move all the contents within the memories, if you just put them all in one folder, you can just search by period in that one folder, and then all the files within each one of those individual folders will show up, and then you can just select them and all and copy paste them all from there. One thing I wanted to mention is that when you select the memories files and the chat media files, it probably makes sense to only move over the files that you want to process with the code, because the more files that you try to process, the longer it will take. Additionally, it probably makes sense also to just try running a few files first. This way, in case there's a problem, you'll know before you process all of them at once. Copy all the chat media over. Okay, now we need to copy the JSON over. Into the input folder. This requires Python 3, ffmpeg, ffprobe, xftool, and some packages. If you don't need help installing them, you can skip to the next section. However, all the links are in the README file. Let's go ahead and delete the K here, just so it doesn't conflict with anything. Let's go ahead and move it over to the input folder. Sorry, not the input folder, the main project folder. Okay, now we want to make sure that we move over mmPeg, ffmpeg, and ffprobe. Into the project folder. Now we have to go ahead and download these packages. Now what exactly you type into your terminal might be a little bit different than mine, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so now let's run the script. cd space, then the path name for the project folder, okay, now py space Snapchat underscore metadata dot py. Now we can move the pictures over. So make sure that you have iCloud for Windows downloaded and that this is checked on. So let's go to Chat Media, copy everything over. Something very important that I wanted to mention is that when you copy over your memories from your Windows computer utilizing iCloud for Windows, make sure you use the memories system time output folder, not the location one. If you use the wrong one, then the timestamps may appear double adjusted. When you upload the images utilizing iCloud for Windows, sometimes it can take a long time to show up on your phone. It just needs to load, so just give it some time. Also, sometimes the thumbnails don't show up either. That might take a long time as well. So over here, you could see that all the images and videos are uploaded and they're compatible with the map in Apple Photos. Also, when you go to sort by date captured, it's all in order because the timestamps are valid. For the old version of the Snapchat My Data exports, the folder setup is the same for both Mac and Windows. If you need to refer to how to install everything, you can refer back to the previous sections. We still have to take all the exported chat media files and put them into the chat media input folder, as well as the memories, put them into the input memories folder. It's a lot easier for this one because this version of the exports keeps all the memories in its own separate memories folder. They're not in individual folders. Also, you have to move the memories history JSON folder into the input folder as well. If you don't need help with that, you could skip ahead. We have to find the memories history JSON file and move it into the input folder. Same thing with the chat media. Copy over all those files. For the memories, it's easier. They're all in their own folder. Copy those over. This is the version where a lot of the videos are in multiple 10-second clips, so the code will process all that. So now to run it, put cd and then the project folder path name. Not input, it's the main one. py space Snapchat underscore metadata.py and then enter. Okay, so some things I wanted to mention was depending on how many memories and chat media files you're processing, that will alter how long it takes for your computer to process all of them. So it might be beneficial to just select the ones that you want to process. Also, for example purposes for this video, I changed the location in the print statement to show available, but for you, it will show the actual GPS coordinates. Also, I try to incorporate one of every file type and one of every kind of snap in memories in this for example purposes. So memories that were saved as multiple clips. Also, there were actually two snaps for some reason that saved with the same name for some reason. Here it is. I don't think Snapchat meant to do that, but it happened, so I added a counter. Also, as I wrote in the README file, I added two separate copies of each kind of memory. So one with the UTC times converted to the location time zone of where the image was taken based off of the GPS coordinates, and then one of the time zones converted to the system time zone. So that is the time zone that you're using to run this code. Additionally, there's also two copies of the memories with the metadata intact. One copy of just the base image or base video, and then another copy of the image or video with the caption and overlay on it. Over here you could see that the code merges the long form videos. And another thing that I wanted to mention was that sometimes chat media includes a lot of different kinds of file types, so ones that aren't even images or anything like that, so the code skips all of those. Also, it skips any of the files that say thumbnail in the title because those are just images taken from the videos. The videos already generate their own thumbnails. Also, the chat media voice messages, they get converted into MP3s. The code recognizes the videos that don't have any images because for some reason Snapchat saves the chat media voice messages as MP4s, so this will convert them to MP3s. These are all the chat media videos and pictures. They all have new names. And then these are the voice messages. They have names based on dates as well. And over here we have the different versions of the memories. And regarding importing and uploading the image and videos to Apple Photos, you can refer to the previous sections for that. Just wanted to say again that if you're having any issues running the code or installing anything, feel free to put the Python file as well as the README file into a generative AI tool like ChatGPT, and you can also paste in any of the errors that you're getting in the terminal or command prompt, and it should be able to help you troubleshoot. I hope you found this project useful. Now that Snapchat's going to start charging users for storage, you can use this to download all your memories and chat media and restore it with all the metadata intact. Additionally, if you don't have your Snapchat account anymore and you only have an old version of the My Data exports, you can use this code to organize all of those files in a more organized fashion. Thank you.